trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Vanderjack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal? Shout out to Ron Huff and Dick. The kids loving this. I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect. Every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along. We have a little fun. A few questions. How about 31?
Woo! Doggies. How about 31 questions? What do you guys say? You know what I say?
Here we go again.
Forgot the volume. Just woke up. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Good morning, guys. I don't know when you guys will get this. But just checking back in. We got a new 31 for you that I recorded with my friend Nick Hoff in the green room at Comedy Works. We have really struck out with the big guest we were trying to get. Santino brought his wife. And so he was doing wife stuff and just as busy. And I get it. He went to an Avalanche game. He was having fun. So we shot our shot. He passed politely, which was nice of him instead of just ignoring me like some people do. Santino, great dude. Check him out anywhere you can. He crushed. I worked with Duncan last night. There's still a chance we'll get Duncan, but I don't know. And then, of course, I was really trying to get Theo Vaughn, and I took every shitty show Comedy Works. Not shitty show, but I took the shows that people don't really want on the off nights, just so when Theo came I could ask for him. But Theo brought his own host and feature, so no shot getting to Theo, unfortunately, so we won't have those. But we got Nick Hoff, who's great, and there's a chance Rob Schneider's coming. I don't know who Rob Schneider's bringing or what he's doing. I don't think he knows, so I'll fire at Rob Schneider and maybe get him to do it on Monday or Tuesday. That would be a great one, but you never know. But I'm gonna keep trying, guys. You know how it is. We got a new Patreon. Shout out to my boy Leroy Espinoza, a childhood friend. We grew up together in Cheyenne. He was an incredible basketball player. I think he thinks he still is. He probably thinks he could beat me with his gross left-handed shot, but he is an overall great dude. He likes the Patriots is his only fault, but other than that, he's a good dude, and I love him. So Leroy, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you for always supporting. Leroy will be at my show February 7th in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Sundance Saloon. If you know anybody close, if you're close, please come. Of course, all Patreons, you don't need to worry about tickets. I always got you. Leroy said it was hard to figure out the Patreon or how to get to it, so I'm going to try to make like a link to put up to make it a little easier. But I think if you just go to patreon.com and then in the search results put Brandt Tobler and then sign up, hopefully that'll get you signed up. But if you have any problems with it, let me know. And I just thank you guys all for doing it. It's always a cool email to have Patreon send you a nice message that just says, hey, we got a new supporter, and it's always cool instead of all the junk mail I get. So shout out to all the Patreons. Shout out to you guys. We're coming up on 20,000 downloads. Let me look right here. Today we will go over, so they do these legacy downloads. So when I was doing these a lot and then I stopped. So before, for some reason it reset when the podcast world really took off. So it reset at November 1st, 2017. I was at 455,000 downloads. So it reset November 1st, 2017. And today, right now, we're at 99,989 downloads. So we're going to get to 100 probably in the next 5 minutes. So 100,000 downloads. It's cool. It means a lot that you guys listen. And I hope it makes the drives or work or the workout or going to bed or anything better, because I love doing them and you guys keep me going. It's awesome. It's just awesome to see the supports. If you haven't, please go follow Brandt Tobler Comedy on YouTube. I put up a ton of videos, ones of like Shire eating shit, falling down, a bunch of old comedy sketches we wrote, a bunch of new stand-up goes on there. I even put up some like, I've been lucky enough to sneak in or have access to front row stuff. So there's a couple like front row Garth Brooks, front row Eric Church, just shit that is actually good content, but I'm just putting it on there to try to find other ways to draw people to the page to get the subscriptions up. And that's it. So we're just doing it. Enough of these nonsense bullshit up front. Let's do the episode. And this episode's a good one. It's my boy Nick Hoff. He's a full-time opener for Larry the Cable Guy. So we get into that, what it's like to travel around on private jets with him and Jeff Foxworthy. And he's just a good dude, a good old Nebraska boy. So he edited it in the middle of this. I don't know how the edit is because he said something about a college roommate. So I don't think that question will be in there, which I think he's overthinking. But I also don't fly on private jets and do corporate shit. So he's like, hey, can you edit this? I was like, nope. And he's like, well, I'll do it. So I assume you probably won't even know when the edit comes. But if there's a skip in there, just know that he is trying to save his career, which I think is good. Even though he didn't say anything that bad at all. We've had way worse shit on here pretty much every episode. But, hey, man, got 3 kids and a wife, and he's doing good. So why fuck around with some dumb story on here? So anyway, here comes Nick Hoff. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to keep firing. We'll always have more Craigslist chaos. And we'll have a Shire dead to us either before, well, definitely after Shire comes back from New York, but maybe even before because she's going to New York, the Big Apple. So anyway, we'll keep doing it. If I can do anything for you guys, just reach out. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the Patreons giving their hard-earned $7 a month or $10 or $1. And even those of you guys that aren't Patreons, I just appreciate you guys telling people because it's growing. We're building this up, and I love it, and I'm very proud of it. And that's enough of this bullshit. I don't want to cry. Like, get it together, Brandt. Oh, shit. We need some laughter. No more of my bullshit. Here comes episode, whatever it is. 31 questions. It's my good buddy, Nick Hoff. And we're off. Coming to you guys live. Well, I guess it's live. Kind of live from the Comedy Works green room.
It's live when we're doing it.
Yeah, it's live right now. If you were sitting in here. If you were sitting in here, you'd be lucky enough to be sitting with me and my hilarious guest, Nick Hoff, who is here doing shows, 3 nights?
3 nights here.
How's it been?
It's been great. First time at this club.
It's the best.
Oh, man. Well, you always hear about Comedy Works in Denver.
Yeah.
And I poked my head into that downtown club before. But, yeah, this is my first time getting up, and it's just been amazing.
Well, it's great. I'm so glad you're here, and I knew you'd do great. I got to do the first show with you. But what I like is you got to do both clubs. Most of the time, people only get to do one. So
right. You come in for a weekend. Most guys are just at one or the other. I get the best of both worlds.
So yeah, you got to experience both. So it was good, and everybody said you're crushing. So hopefully, I'll see you all the time now.
It's been a blast, and we were talking about it earlier over text. But I've fallen in love with the Yonder bags.
Oh, so great!
The little bags that people put their phones in, so they don't have that as a distraction during the show.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was thinking about, because I'm hoping to get the video tomorrow. But when I opened for you on Sunday, it was in the middle of the championship game. And
right.
Due to Yonder, I got to come out, and hopefully the video is as funny as I thought it was in the moment. But I would come out and be like, hey, thanks for missing the game. I can't believe the Packers came back.
Right, he had a Packers hat on.
And the crowd went crazy. And then I was like, oh, I'm just bullshitting. And then I realized, without Yonder, they would have never fell for that joke. So
right, yeah, he'd have been all over it. No, I heard you say that. Got a huge reaction.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure
I'm hoping the video will be good. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I love it. You get so spoiled like we talked about today. Then I go on the road. I'm like, God, I'll see some with their phone out. I start looking for security, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not at home anymore.
And so few clubs are good at policing that.
Yeah.
And even if they are good at policing an audience, they just don't see the phone like we do. It just lights up the face.
Yeah.
And even if they're hiding it, we can see it.
Or like even here, like you can't see, the security can't see like that first couple rows. So if you're on a phone, they caught somebody who was secretly recording shows.
Here?
Really? It was this one like super fan guy, and he'd always come early. And then he was just ballsy enough to like post them, and then somehow it got back to him, so he can't come anymore. But they don't fuck around with it. But no. I love it. It's game changing. Thanks to Chappelle.
Yeah, is he the one that started that?
Chappelle started it, and then I think when Chappelle wanted to do, because he'll usually come at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, and then he requested him, and then I think I don't know who pays for him, if the club does or how it works.
Right.
But then So then even when Chappelle comes, if he goes to another venue, then they'll come get all our Yonders and take them over. So it's
Really?
pretty sweet. Yeah.
They'll take them on yonder.
So thank you, Chappelle, for continuing.
I appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah, continuing to make this stand-up, for always fighting for a stand-up. So, all right. Well, you know what? Plug everything where they can find you.
Yeah, if you're looking for me, all my tour dates are just nickhoff.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep that updated regularly, and I post funny videos on there that are attached to my YouTube, things like that. So that's kind of the one-stop shop. I've got all my social media up there. So
That's perfect. So you guys know where to go. Go to nickhoff.com. You're touring a lot, right?
that's the only way I know how to make money.
Yeah.
That's occasionally commercials come up, and I can do that, but I can't control that. But I
Yeah.
can control when I'm booked for the most part.
Well, that's funny. We've talked about it here plenty of times, what the commercial life used to be in L.A.
Right.
Hey, you'd be rich, and now I don't know what happened. Somebody took all the money away.
People started fast-forwarding commercials.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Everybody, no one gives a shit about commercials.
Yeah, I think DVR and TiVo and all that took it. But now sometimes you're forced to watch commercials. And what pisses me off, and this is kind of goes against me making any money in the commercial industry, but what pisses me off is you ever want to watch an online video and you click it and the commercial loads immediately and plays in HD and is perfect, and then it gets to your content and it's like you get the little pinwheel of death and you're like, what? How was it such a fast? It was right on the teat.
Yeah,
for the commercial.
Yeah, I mean, we're so spoiled with occasionally, because I use Sling now, but occasionally I have to.
Okay.
I can't fast forward live TV, and you would think the world's over. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? We're very spoiled. Okay, here we go. Question 1. Where are you from, and what is the best place to eat in your hometown?
I grew up in Hastings, Nebraska. I was born in Omaha, grew up in Hastings, Nebraska, which is a town of about 23,000 people. And the best place to eat, in my opinion, there's a good restaurant there now, but my favorite place growing up was this fast food place called Amigos.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the bottom of the line Mexican food, but it was so good. And so it ruined me. When I went to college and everybody wanted to go to Taco Bell or something, I was like, ooh, this is rubbish. We didn't have a Taco Bell within 100 miles of us, so Amigos was the thing. And I still will get it a couple times every single time I'm back.
Is it a late night place?
It is.
I think I ate it because I went there. A bunch of my friends actually went to school there to play soccer.
At Hastings College?
So we had a couple of Hastings trips and just got wasted.
I'll bet if you were drunk and it was late, you probably went through the Amigos drive-thru.
I actually had a lot of fun in Hastings. It was maybe it was just because I know I wasn't 21. So maybe that's why we were just drinking in the dorms, and I think I hooked up with a goalie.
You know what?
Crazy.
She's got great hands.
Yeah. She had her gloves on.
I have no complaints about growing up there. It was a great place to be as a kid, and I still love going back there today. There's just no comedy.
Yeah. Well, you set up shows there, right?
I'll go and I'll do a show there once a year, once every 2 years or something like that. And they do have, they'll bring in somebody for New Year's Eve or something. But
I'm sure you deal with what I deal with. Because I'm sure it's a big deal when you come home to Hastings.
Yeah.
So then everybody comes out. That's how I am in Cheyenne. And then all these other comics are like, hey, I want to do Cheyenne. I'm like, no one will give a shit if you're there.
It's not going to be the same.
It's not. You see my pictures.
Yeah.
But that's because I've known all these people since I was 5 years old. They don't. It's so many. And I've had comics try to get in there and scalp the shows and then sell 9 tickets. I was like,
Right.
It's not a comedy market. It's a hometown loyalty market.
It's a lot of that, and even if it were Cheyenne's a little bigger town, so they get some things through there. Hastings doesn't get stand up through there unless I'm coming or unless it's the New Year's Eve thing. So it's enough of a novelty, but just the amount of people I know there helps with just getting the word out. Yeah,
see, that's how it was always for me, and now they're. Just as the start of the new year, there are already 2 bars trying to start a monthly comedy showcase, and I'm fucking not happy about it. But whatever, what are you going to do?
The one time I did Cheyenne, I did a place called The Drunken Skunk. Are you aware of this place?
Yeah, it's it's awful, I'm sure. What was it, a triple run or what?
No, that was 2010, and I was with a group of guys. We were doing the Susan G. Komen Pink Ribbon Comedy Tour, and we just set up a bunch of one-nighters all across the country, and that was the place that did it. And I remember there was this lady walking around during the show with a bucket trying to collect money for breast cancer research, and she's interrupting everybody. And I'm like, hey, you got to knock it off. She's like, I'm collecting money for you. And I'm like, well, shut up for me. There's a time.
I'm trying to think of the Drunken Skunk. Because they all changed names. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't tell you where it is.
Oh, I just remember it was a shithole. I think
it was a dive bar with
a drunken skunk. That's gonna drive me crazy, but yeah, that's
the lady was crying, and I felt terrible telling her that, but she was ruining the show.
Don't worry about it.
There's like 20 people here. You cannot talk to that table.
She's probably stealing the money anyway. Don't worry about it. What was your favorite toy as a child?
Favorite toy as a child? You know what? It's stupid, but probably just like baseball bat and a tennis ball, and we just go in the backyard and play home run derby endlessly.
How many siblings do you have?
I had 2 sisters, but I mean, all my friends, we'd walk to elementary school, so all the friends were right there, like within a stone's throw. I could climb up into my tree and see all my friends' houses, like above the roofs.
I had the same thing. It was awesome. Like, I tell my girlfriend now, I guess it's not the same, but we woke up and you would just start playing.
Yes.
We all knew meet in the alley or meet at the park, or there's a little triangle.
I don't know how we got the word out.
You were just trained to go there.
This is the time.
Or you would ride your bike until one person was there, then 2 would stop, and then it was just a circle of, okay, where's everyone? What are we playing today? Basketball, baseball.
Exactly.
I hate to sound like an old man, but these kids now are. Well, you got how old are your kids?
I've got 3 kids. One just turned 6. And then I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh, yeah, so
they're really little. But the 6-year-old, I remember being 5 and, like, just leaving the house on my bike. Just like, I'll see you at lunch, Mom.
Yeah.
And she didn't ask questions. I didn't have a pager or anything.
Yeah.
It was just gone. And I don't think the world's really changed, except for our perception has. I think parents are more nervous about what could happen, because I don't think more kids are getting taken now than they were in the 80s. I think it's just you heard about the one that did, and now we're like, well, you're not going to be the one.
Yeah,
so
it's like the razor blade and the candy.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's...
Nobody ever got a razor blade in the candy.
Not anywhere in my world. And we tried. But even I would just be nervous about L.A. Raising your kids. Do you worry about that ever or no?
Yeah, and it's a different thing because they're busy streets all over the place. Like, they weren't really busy streets.
No, in my neighborhood, there was one busy street you just stayed away from.
Yeah, you just didn't go on that street.
That was the only rule.
All the rest of them were fine. And I even remember, like, there were so few cars, but one car did, like, swerve and, like, come sort of close to me. And I memorized the license plate. I went home. I called the police. I was like, this jackass just swerved at me. It turned out it was some kid, like, reaching for his cassette tape as he was, like, coming home from high school. And I guess his dad gave him hell. But, like, that was the biggest danger, was possibly getting sideswiped. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, do you plan on staying in LA forever, or is there anything trying to get you back towards Nebraska? Obviously not Hastings, but
I mean, family and friends are there, and it is a better quality of life, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, in Los Angeles, the weather never gets in the way, but it's just like you're always living in the car, and like anywhere in my hometown, it takes 7 minutes to get.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where you have to go; you can leave 7 minutes before, and you are fine.
Yeah,
you're going to be on time. Now, I had my best friend in the world lived like 4 miles from me. I lived in Culver City, and he lived in West Hollywood, so I think it's like 4 or 5 miles, and I would see him once a month because it took like 50 minutes to get to his house.
So many times I lived in West Hollywood when I was there. People would tell us, come to Culver City, come, and I was like, no shot.
Like,
no
what
way.
Are you crazy?
How many clubs are here? Like, I'm not going. Why would I don't know if I ever went to Culver City ever when I was there. Maybe no, I don't think so.
No, there were hardly have ever been any shows there. Occasionally, so a lot of times I have to go over to Venice or something to do my shows. But I even don't venture there now into the downtown or Hollywood because I'm just like I can get up at these places closer to my house, and then I can go home. And I'm not spending hours in my car trying to go do 7 minutes.
I do not miss that. What'd you do on your 21st birthday?
My 21st... I went to South Dakota with my dad, and we went fishing.
Oh, really?
Yep, we went fishing for a long weekend, and we went up there, and the first day I got super sunburned. Didn't wear Dad's taking me out. We didn't bring sunscreen. We just went out on the boat, and I got so fried. And that night we got like a 6-pack of beer and went to the drive-in movie theater, which was the only thing happening in town. There was only one movie option. It was Finding Nemo, which is like a father-son movie. So that movie always has like a special place in my heart. So we sat there, we each drank 3 beers and watched Finding Nemo at a drive-in.
That's awesome. Well, did you start drinking early in high school or no?
No, not really. I drank only a handful of times before I turned 21.
Yeah.
Well, I guess once I went to college, then I drank a little more. But like in high school and stuff, not really.
That's how. Well, I was the same way. I didn't drink at all in high school. But in Wyoming, you either like didn't drink at all, or you were just drunk before school. Yeah, you drank it all. Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I haven't karaokeed in a long time, but it was Sister Christian Motorin'.
Yes, that's a good one.
It is. It's got the crescendo. It builds to something, so you're not just like petering out toward the end.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years, I think.
That one will always excite me.
What is yours? Have you talked about this? It just
depends. No, it used to be like Mr. Jones by Counting Crows, or I have to be drunk. Okay. So it's usually I'll maybe let someone pick, or I'm really bad at it though. It's like my insecurities.
You're one of the fun ones to watch.
Singing, yeah. Well,
you're like one of those guys that gets up there and is like, you know what, I sang in college. And
well, and I will say I'm kind of douchey where just my comedy skills will kick in, like old school where I'll change the words or try to be funny to cover my insecurities of being a shitty singer.
That's how the Dan Band started. Did you know that? Those guys, they started just making fun of karaoke things.
Which I'm much better at that because I'll do it like in the car with my girlfriend. That's why I always laugh at like these comics that do music stuff, and then people are like, "They're so funny." Like they just change heart to fart. And we can all do that. It's not anything.
Weird Al'd it.
They're like, I can't believe he did that off the top of. I was like, any of us can do that. Don't be so. It's much harder to write about our lives and be vulnerable, and anyone can rhyme. But no, so it's. I'm with you. I haven't sang in a while. Last time I did it, I don't know. I like the Killers a lot.
Oh yeah,
rap. It's just got to be in the moment.
Never rapped on karaoke. I don't think I've ever done that. It goes
bad. It goes really bad.
It's not highly desired.
Yeah. You got to watch the N-word. It'll sneak up. You'll be like, oh, shit. When's the first time you asked somebody for an autograph?
First time I ever asked somebody for an autograph would have been at a Kansas City Royals game. I stayed after the game, and I had a baseball that I don't think I caught a foul ball because I don't think I've ever caught like a real foul ball. I don't know where I got. Maybe I just bought a baseball or I brought one to the game or something. And I stood out there afterward, and they were playing the Oakland A's. And I was there to see Mark McGwire. He didn't even make the trip, like he was injured or something, which stunk. But Ricky Henderson was there, and he only signed one thing. It was like this beautiful girl like handed something through like the team bus window, and he said something to her, and she showed him a ring. So it was like, okay. And so I was asking everybody, and everybody was pretty cool, except for can I remember his name? It's I'm gonna name the wrong person. It's not Gary Gaetti.
No, he was a twin.
Not Gagne because he was a pitcher recently, right? Gagne. Great Gagne?
Greg Gagne, that sounds like...
Greg Gagne, I'm pretty sure he was out there, and he was in a bad mood, and they must have lost or something, and I said something like, you got time for one more autograph? And he goes, oh, shut up. And I was like, yo. And then he took my ball and he signed it. But the whole time I was just looking at him as like this little 6-year-old, like, I don't even want you to sign it now, you piece of crap.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him.
Greg Gagne, that sounds
Greg
right.
Gagne?
something. I don't know.
I got to fact check that. Yeah. Greg's a big fan of the 31 podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
like,
listening.
Son of a bitch, I'm getting slandered.
Well, here's the next question. You're going to answer it in real time. What's the most recent thing you've learned? And it might be Greg Gagne, Gagne, whatever.
Greg Gagne is a professional wrestler.
No,
I don't watch wrestling though.
Gary Guy, I don't know.
Greg Gagne, I don't know. I don't have time for. Wait. Greg Gagne was a twin. Played 10 seasons for the Minnesota Twins. This is the timeline though, 83 to 92. I'd have been there. He was on that World Series team with Minnesota, but then, wait,
did he play for the A's?
Kansas City Royals, 93. So I'd have been 11. So I was a little older. I'm misremembering that detail. So the rest of this might be fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure that was him. 93. Well, that would have been about the time of McGwire, though.
Yeah.
So and Ricky Henderson, I'm guessing it was him.
All right,
you shouldn't have shaded me, Greg.
We'll find you one day.
So okay, I just learned that. Is that
count? That counts.
Okay.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever or cool or which question am I? Sorry, what's the most money or coolest thing you've ever won?
My first time ever going to Vegas. I was playing with my buddy Jeff Moores, and we went for his 21st birthday. So I had already been 21 for about 6 months, but I'd never been to Vegas. We went there, and we're playing blackjack, and I was playing with him at a table, and I lost all my money, and I walked away. Like, I still had some money in my pocket, but I walked away. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down at another table. I'm going to try and win it back. And I sat down, and I had, like, the money that I was okay with losing, and then I had other money in my pocket that I was like, no, this is for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
I cannot lose this money. And I sat down, and I was playing, going kind of back and forth, and then I just decided, okay, this is my last hand. Like, we got to go somewhere else. So I, like, put all in. And so, I don't know, maybe it was $45-$50 or something, all in on one hand, and I end up getting aces. And so, like, you gotta split it.
Yeah,
the whole time's like, you gotta split it, man. And I'm like, I don't want to lose more money than that. But they had like a 15 showing or something. I was like, okay. So I pulled another $50 out. I put it down, and then I get another ace. And they're like, you gotta keep going. So now I'm like sweating it, but I'm too far. Too far in now. I've already got $100 sitting on the table. So I put another 50 down, and I won all three. Oh. And like I was. I was only 21. I had no money. My hands are shaking. I like pulled all my chips off the table. I was like, okay, I'm going, guys. See, I like shaking all the way to the teller. That was the most money that I can ever remember winning and being like so stoked about.
Okay, that's well. At the time and scale, it's probably
it would have ended the rest of my trip. He'd have been like, let's go out, and I'd have been like, I cannot go out.
That's funny. What's the craziest or weirdest thing you've ever done to impress a girl?
Weirdest thing I've ever done to impress a girl? I remember our neighbor girl was really pretty. I was very little. Yeah, I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. And I was wearing like gray sweatpants, and I must have pissed myself because like, I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't want to take the time to go to the bathroom, but I was on my bike riding around the neighborhood, and she was out there with a bunch of people that were out shooting hoops, and they all looked at me and they saw I peed myself, and they're like, you just peed yourself. I was like, no, I spilled water. So then I just started spilling everything on myself, trying to like make it seem, and it was not a good cover. It was not a good cover.
That's not your wife now?
That's not my wife. She was not my next door neighbor.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met my wife in college. We were both RAs.
Oh, really?
Together, yeah.
Did you like going to school at IU?
I did. Loved it.
I bet. It seems like a good place. Were you guys good at anything when you were there? Basketball?
My freshman year, we went to the finals.
Oh, wow.
Lost to Maryland in the finals, and I won a laptop on ESPN with the second chance bracket. When you picked
really?
From the Sweet 16 on in, I picked every single game exactly correct, and I got the closest point total. I picked Indiana to go all the way to the finals and lose. So all my friends are like, you dick.
It's crazy. That's like the first big bet I remember winning. I bet $500 on Maryland to win the championship at 12-1.
Really?
Like early in the season, and then it all came down to that game, and then I thought about betting some back, and then my boss was like, just fucking go for it. And we were in Phoenix, and I'll never forget, we won. And I was so happy. $6,000 was a lot of money, and I was like, it still is, but I was like, that's like my first big gambling.
That'd been like 2002.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Who was the guy that was on their
team? It was like Steve Blake and Juan Dixon.
Yeah, was the guy because they had gotten close. That's why I even picked them in my original bracket because they had been close the years before.
That's awesome. We both won.
Hell yeah. Thanks a lot, Juan.
Yeah, thanks, Juan. Do you collect anything?
Used to collect baseball cards.
You still have them?
I still do, yeah.
Oh, you do?
They're worthless.
Yeah. I know. I eventually just threw mine out. Just from
moving
so much as a comic. Because I had a ton.
Yeah.
So I saved them. And then eventually as a comic, like moving to L.A., I left them back in my best friend's garage. But then when he moved, I was in L.A. He's like, what do you want me to do with these? I was like, I don't know. Maybe gave them to Goodwill or something. But I was like, just let them go.
Yeah,
I don't.
Just they're
send them. I mean, that's what's cool about it. You can still get them all on eBay. There's like maybe at some point, there's like 10 I would just buy. That I always remember, a Don Mattingly rookie card was the most important thing to me as a kid when I finally got one. And there's this black bordered Elway football card that's so cool. I have an Elway rookie.
Do you?
Yeah, that actually Jeff Dye bought me for my birthday one year. I have a framed Elway autographed jersey in my podcast studio so it's in there. So
I remember my favorite card was the Bo Jackson one where he had the bat over his shoulders and he's like wearing shoulder pads too for football.
See, I thought about just buying I was somewhere in when I'm on the road, I like to hit these antique malls.
Yeah.
I love those.
My wife and I both do that.
Yeah. Then the other day I just about bought a box of cards. Everything was like $15. I was just gonna take them back to the hotel.
It's child gambling. That's what it is. That's what I realized. It's gambling. You are like hoping that you can get something cool.
Yeah, I don't even think that's what's crazy now is all these comics have baseball cards.
Yeah,
like my buddy Matt Markman, he sent me now hanging on the content on my podcast studio wall. I have Steve Simone, Ryan Sickler, Brody Stevens, and Tom Segura. In a frame, those 4 cards, which is so cool to me.
Yeah, because Topps has somehow gotten into it.
Yeah, so that's the dream. Hopefully, we'll get baseball.
Did you open that box of cards?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
No, because I forget what happened. I ended up having to go somewhere. I like to walk when I'm in town.
Sure.
And then if I was going to walk back to the hotel, I was going to get it. Yeah. But then I ended up thinking I was going to walk somewhere else. I was like, I just didn't want to carry it. But I'm going to do it. I just want the thrill of opening.
Yeah.
I know they have no value, but it would still be fun. But as a kid, that was my whole life.
It's a
Putting
blast.
them in order, trying to get a whole set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not worth a shit, but
oh yeah,
it was worth it. I used to do card shows where I'd sell.
Really?
Like and then one of the best things I ever did was I built a Plinko board.
Okay.
And then and people loved it, and then they played Plinko to try to get. At the time, it was that Griffey '89 Upper Deck, but at the time it was worth like $20. It was still like expensive, but we had the Plinko rigged pretty good. That it was really hard to get that because it was my favorite Griffey card, you know. But.
You and I have like a similar childhood. That I remember the freshman year of high school. I needed money, and so I made lottery tickets, and I sold them at the lunchroom.
Oh, it's great!
And so like I had 100, like just like flashcards with a dollar amount written on them, either 0, 1, 2, 3, up to $5 or something. I just made the first one a winner. Like I just had to convince somebody to buy the first one. The whole table said he just paid me $1 and he won 3, and they're like, okay. So all week I was selling these till the golf coach comes over, and we were supposed to sell these community cards so that we could play golf. And he came over and he goes, "Do you have any of those cards left for sale?" And he was talking about the community cards, but I thought he meant the thing.
No.
So it just scared me straight. And that was it. I only ended up doing it for like 4 days.
You could have ran the Nebraska lottery. You'd be so rich.
Isn't it so stupid that the government will not let an independent lottery company, but they'll run it? They're like, it's not okay, but we'll do it.
Yeah, well, because they just know how much money. It's like being a bookie.
Mm-hmm.
They're like trying to keep it illegal, but it's just because they haven't figured out how to tax it. There's nothing wrong with betting on sports.
No.
What's the best Christmas present you've ever got?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I still remember wanting that one really bad, and the day it came, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I remember me and my little brother opening it up being like, oh, my God.
But it sucked because it always came on Christmas, and the parents didn't know enough to, like, get you a game.
Yeah.
So you'd, like, hopefully it came with one.
Yeah.
I remember one year it didn't come with one, and I was like, oh, son of a gun. Now I got this sitting here.
Yeah, now I got to go borrow one from an old one from
right.
My rich friends who got a bunch of new ones. Who do you owe an apology to?
Ooh, these haunt you, don't they? Do you ever just wake up in the middle of the night and just like, clenching your pillow? Like,
yeah. And I hate it. And it's crazy how far back. I've talked about it on here before. It's like one time, I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and we whitewashed this kid off the bus.
You whitewashed him? What does that mean?
Just tackle him in the snow and then covered his face and everything in snow. And I remember feeling so bad about it. As he walked home, then I went home, and then we had a cordless phone.
Yeah.
And I went into the bathroom and called him, and I was like crying, and I was like, that'll haunt me the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I've done some bad shit.
But you didn't apologize? You haven't?
No, I did. No, I did. But I still was like, why did I do that? Like,
yeah.
Because I could be a bully. Like, I'm not tough at all, but I always say I'd rather get punched in the face than have to deal with, like, me. Or, like, a lot of comics, like, I could be mean, like, just with my words.
Right.
So there's times when I was younger that there's stuff when I remember yelling at a girlfriend one time in front of my brother, just like really bad.
Oh. Yeah.
I got a lot of apologies. But the only thing I'll say is younger.
One day when we go through the program, we can get these all out. The one that happened most recently, it's not that bad, and he may not even remember it, but it still has bothered me a handful of times, especially now since it's come back to bite me in the ass. But there was one of my buddies that I graduated high school with came to one of my shows at the Omaha Funny Bone. I was talking to him afterward. I hadn't talked to him since high school. He's now an eye doctor.
Uh-huh.
And I said something to him like, I've only been to the eye doctor once in my life. Like, people say you should go. I'm like, I'm not going to. That's a scam. Or I said something like kind of insulting to his profession. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And he just kind of smiled. But then like I didn't even think anything of it until later. I was like, oh, I bet he was sort of like, oh, you're kind of a piece of shit for saying that.
Yeah.
And now since then, my 3-year-old has needed glasses, so now I've like spent a lot of time inside an eye doctor's office.
Well, he's gonna love it next time you see him.
I know.
Like, you know what? I was so wrong.
I even thought about calling him and being like, hey, what do you think about this? They say Neil needs this, and they just have go, oh, Hoff, I thought you didn't need us.
Yeah. Oh, you want to jump into this scam? What's one embarrassing story that your family always tells about you?
Embarrassing?
Besides pissing your pants on your bike.
Right. I don't know if any of them actually know that. Let's see. I'm not really embarrassed by it, maybe because at this point, like, I do this, so it's kind of the same. But I used to get in big trouble, like especially on family trips, because I would sit there and I'd just like find something funny and just harp on it. So like junior high, maybe the most annoying age group, I was really into like Ace Ventura, and I just wouldn't stop saying these lines. I was walking like him everywhere, and my dad had to pull over and spank me one time because I just wouldn't stop doing this annoying impression. I wasn't even being a bad kid. I just was. And he's like, "That's it. The family can't take it anymore." So they tell that from time to time. I'm like, "Well, things haven't really changed."
Yeah, now you're a comedian. What was your first like time in LA when you're like, I can't believe I'm at this person's house or around someone famous, or the first time you're like, man, I'm a long way from Hastings, Nebraska?
One of my actually, I didn't even know her in college, but when I first moved out to California, I hardly knew anybody. So I did the Facebook at that time. You could do like a search of people that graduated in your class from Indiana that are living in Los Angeles. So they like returned whatever it was, 30 or 40 people, and I like sent all of those people a message like, hey, I'm out here, like, let me know if you want to get together, like, whatever. And one gal that got back to me, she was like an event coordinator, something like that. So she would always help out with these fancy parties, and it was my first year out there, and she'd just put me on the VIP list, and I'd go and I'd drink for free, you know. And so at this one party, I was like getting a drink, and I turned around, and Ray Romano's right behind me. I'm like, "Hey, Ray!" And he's like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Okay." And Mike Tyson was there. And it was kind of surreal to see these people. Yeah, it's one of my first times seeing people like that outside of the comedy world. And I remember thinking that I needed to get home because I had drank too much when I was like sizing up Mike Tyson. He was wearing like this leather jacket. He was standing there. I went over to him and was like, "Hey, champ, nice to meet you." And then he started talking, and I like couldn't hear what he was saying. And I was just looking at him like, Mike Tyson's not that big. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, Hoff, time to go home. You're drunk."
That's funny. Well, out of everybody you met, who made you the most nervous?
I worked with Jeff Foxworthy. He made me nervous.
Was he nervous?
Like, eventually I got comfortable around him, but like anticipating seeing him and then seeing him backstage and then like knowing he was right there as I was on stage listening, that was one of the most nervous I've ever been.
Well, it's so cool. So you're like Larry the Cable Guy's full-time opener. But that's been what, 2 or 3 years?
Started in 2015.
Which is so
yeah. It's been 4
and then that just came together through Nebraska, or?
I was pitching a show through my manager for their Jeff and Larry's Comedy Roundup on Sirius XM. I was just pitching a weekly show. They were looking for more content. And it was at the same time they were looking for an opener. And my manager said, "Oh, you should give Nick a try." And so originally I was booked because they were touring together, or they were just getting ready to start touring together. And originally I was only booked for 2 Larry shows before the big tour. And I did those, and those went fine. And then I was only booked for 4 of the shows of them together, and then other guys were going to do the rest of it. And those 4 shows went well, and they said, "Okay, he's the guy." So then I got to do the whole tour with them.
So sweet. So you probably, I can't imagine some of the cool venues you've got to do. Like,
yeah.
Is there anything that stands out, like your favorite show of working with those guys?
Green Bay was awesome. We did like a hockey arena there that was like right next to Lambeau Field. That was the first one that I did with them where I felt like, oh, okay, I crushed. Like the first show I ever did with them, I didn't think it went that well. It was in Kansas City, and what's their names? The Westboro Baptist Church are outside protesting. Yeah. And it was my first time. That was when I met Foxworthy, and I went on stage, and I'd say I gave it maybe a C See, I did not feel good at all. I was so mad at myself because I had all these high expectations, and so that one wasn't good. But Green Bay always stood out because that was the one that I felt like validated me, where they saw me do well, and I felt like I did well. We got to do the Ryman, which is the original Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. We did like the basketball arena there in Phoenix. Oh, the Talking Stick Arena or whatever. Like anytime you were doing a basketball place, you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so those places all stick out.
What about like, who's like, there's got to be crazy people that come to see him, right? Who are you like most shocked was a fan of Larry or Jeff? Or have you ever had that moment like, oh, I can't believe this person's here?
Yeah, what sucks is those guys usually are hanging out in the green room and they don't watch me, but I want validation from them. Yeah. And so it's this weird thing that, like, even though I had not ever really thought about this person liking my comedy, once I see them, I'm like, man, I wish they were out there watching. Yeah. But they're in the green room, like, shooting the shit. Ted Cruz was at our show in Dallas recently, and I don't really care about Ted Cruz, but it was weird to see him there, and then he was just, like, sitting immediately stage left. And so I could just look at him over there every time. I don't know why I wanted his approval. I do not care one way or another. But I was like, oh, Ted's laughing. Okay.
Yeah.
They get a bunch of old rock stars. Like we went out with the Marshall Tucker Band, which I knew their songs, but I would not have been able to point out. Foghat, but there's only one original member. Eddie Money.
Love Eddie Money.
Kind of cool.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. But he was out there with us, and so it's a lot of those old rocker guys, like a bunch of baseball guys from like the 90s. So it's cool when you see those dudes.
But you guys are like, do you guys ever do the bus, or is it all just like private jets?
We've only done the bus one time, and it was getting ready for his last tour just in this December, and we did 8 straight shows, so 8 straight nights, and so it was all in the Midwest. It was like Green Bay, Milwaukee, Des Moines, Springfield, Kalamazoo, like all right in that little area. So we got on the bus, and so that was fun. But he's done everything twice, so every place we'd go, I'd be like, "Hey, let's go do something." He's like, "I've already done that."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Damn it!"
What is, for us regular people, what's private jet life like?
Well, it spoils you.
I can't imagine.
Become very spoiled with it. Like it goes when he comes.
Yeah.
Like I get the time, and I usually have to fly in commercial, and then meet up with them, and then I'll go, from show to show in that. But it's there for him. That's the craziest thing.
So who's on it? It's just you, him, and like tour manager usually?
Yes. Yeah, typically that's it.
And he's like the coolest guy, right? I got to meet him twice, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy.
He is super nice. I've seen him like we did one show where we did 2 shows, and in between shows, me and Foxworthy's road guy, we were going out to like check out the casino, and we saw this kid not standing, he was in a wheelchair, like had a lot of problems, and his dad was like, oh, we were just at the early show, he's a huge fan of Larry's, so we brought him back. And I mean, this kid, was drooling. It was like not a and Dan Larry comes over, and he's like hugging him, and he's kissing on him, and like it just got the biggest heart. Like, okay, this is one of the good ones.
I got to go to like a football game with him, a Nebraska football game.
Oh, nice.
In San Diego, and it was just like, and he just made time for everybody, and he would never even tell any of this story, but one of my friends was friends with him, and he's a comedian, and he like gave him $15,000 for Christmas one year, and was like, chase your dreams. And I was like, holy, but he never gets publicized. It would never come out. Right. But I was just like, and our friend told us, and he's like, we were like, wow, that is so fucking cool of him. But
he's one of the good ones.
Hear, man. Well, I say it every week on here. This is the only job where they say you don't want to meet your heroes, because the bigger the comic, the cooler they've always been to me, man. Yeah. It's always just shitty people that...
Right?
Yeah.
It's always the mid-level guy that's just
didn't
a turd.
Make it, but man, that's awesome. What's the best costume you've ever worn?
Best costume? Maybe like 2008. The Olympics were going on around Halloween, and one of my buddies that I was working with... ordered 4 of the like swim team, like actual Olympic swimsuits. Like couple $100 a piece or whatever. He's like, we'll just get them. We'll return them afterward. Yeah. So we had those full body swimsuits and we were walking around. We had gold medals hanging around our neck. And the one thing is you couldn't drink beer because if you had to go potty.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I just said potty. You know, I have kids.
They understand 136.
If you had to take a piss.
Trust me, I'm doing it. I say it too. I don't even have kids yet, but my dumb little dog, I'm always like, go potty, Teddy, go potty.
Teddy.
So when you said it, I was like, yeah. Oh, wait, we're not supposed to say that. You get a pass. You got
right,
1, 3, and 6-year-old. They got to go potty. No, that's awesome. What's your go-to fast food order?
Being out in California, In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a single with grilled onions, no tomato.
Yep. If the line's not too long. But they do so good at getting people through that shit.
Yeah.
What's the best concert and sporting event you've ever been to?
Best concert was, I mean, I have got terrible musical taste,
Mm-hmm.
but I was really into like pop punk growing up in Green Day, Blink-182, and Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
I mean, Green Day was probably the standout there, even though I was a bigger Blink fan, but they just put on a really good show, and they sounded good, and they were pumped. They were bringing people up on stage to play instruments with them. That was a lot of fun.
That's Omaha?
I saw them in Kansas City at an amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it. But that one was the most fun. Sporting event, going to a Husker game.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets better for me than that. I haven't been to any big like playoff games or anything like that. I've only been to one pro football game in my life.
Yeah.
That was like 93 Bills Chiefs.
Yeah. That doesn't count. Well, as like you said, that Larry's been trying to book a couple gigs each year by games, which is great. And I'm sure you guys, well, the time I went with him, I only got to hang out with him like the first half because the second half he was down on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if you're with him, you got field pass. Like
that's what we do. We go down to the field and that I like that better.
Oh, it's crazy.
I like that better than being up in some box or something.
Yeah,
like,
not to sound like if you've never been in a box, it sucks. It's really not. It's fun to hang.
It's different. It's
you
not.
have your own bathroom. You can eat. But as far as if you're really into a game,
yeah,
you don't want to be in a box. I don't think. I've never.
It's luxury.
Yeah, it's.
But you don't hear the feeling of the stadium. Like, yeah, you can see it from on high, and you got the TVs up there, so it's a cool experience as well. But yeah, if you want to experience the game, then
to be down there that close,
that's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. What song always makes you happy when you hear it?
What song always makes me happy?
Do you listen to anything before you go on stage?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not really.
Some people have full playlists.
Some people have full.
But I like talking to comics in the green room before. That's my ritual.
See, this makes me a litlittle nervous, knowing that I have a show here in like a half an hour.
Oh, shit, we can wrap it up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I enjoy doing this, but I keep looking down because I get carried away, and then all of a sudden,
oh no, trust me,
people are going to be coming.
There'll be a bunch of people.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Anything from my era, like at a certain point, you start to tune out the music, and I haven't stayed up, especially since having kids.
Yeah.
With what's happening, but anything like the high school through college, like any of those songs comes on, I'm just like, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm very nostalgic about shit, so a lot of those songs
we have a memory attached to it, right?
Yeah,
like these new songs, you don't have a memory attached to them yet.
I never listened to them because I have my Spotify. So I just listen to the shit I've always liked.
Do you have premium so you can go on the go? See, I don't have that.
$10 ever spent. I don't have 3 kids, but it's worth it. If I had 3 kids, maybe I'd pick wiser. But for me, I just like it but I've had it happen, and 2 embarrassing things have happened where I just don't know music. Like my girlfriend before my girlfriend now, there's a show here. KYGO is like the big country station out here.
Yeah.
So I told her, hey, I'm going to this country show. It's by the radio station. She's like, you idiot, that's Kygo. It's like a famous DJ. I thought I was going to a country concert. and the same thing happened when I was in Vegas with my girlfriend. Now I walked, that walk from, you've done Brad's before.
Yes.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
So that long-ass walk to the club.
Yeah.
I was walking back, and then this song came on, and I came back. I was like, babe, I heard the song. I love it. It must be new. And then I played it. She's like, that came out like 2 years ago, loser. I was like, I'm a nerd.
All right,
Never mind.
I'll never open up to you again.
Yeah. What's the biggest bar tab you've ever picked up or seen picked up?
I don't know. I mean, being in Nebraska, it's never very much.
Yeah, that's the best part.
I feel like a big shot. I'm like, I got it, guys. And it's like $32.
I love going home for that reason because they think I'm way more famous than I am. I'm not famous at all, but they think I'm
they
famous.
get used to the prices, and then they it goes up a quarter. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah. But
what is this? But yeah, we get used to paying.
But I'd come from L.A.
$8 for a beer.
3 drinks for $45 and then go to Cheyenne and be like, the whole night's 97. They're like, no, the whole week. You're good forever. I'm like, I'm okay. You can be a baller.
I haven't seen big bar tabs.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I don't drink fancy when I drink, so it's never like crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe $100.
Yeah, that's good. You got off cheap.
The day that I went to Vegas with my boy Morris for his 21st birthday, when I won that money, we went out to one of the clubs and we ordered 2 shots of something. He ordered 2 shots of something, and the person goes, "It's $18," and we're both 21. He hands him a 20, and the lady goes, "We're no tip." And he goes, "There's $2 there," and she took $2 out of the register and threw it back at him. I was like, "Good God, $18 so much."
It's Vegas. That's why I'd never go there. What's the greatest physical pain you've ever felt?
Broke my arm. That was pretty bad.
When, as a kid?
Broke it in 4th grade. We were jumping from my deck to a tree, pretend like playing Indiana Jones or something. And my buddy, who was taller than me, jumped. He made the jump. Like, we kept moving further and further back. And I jumped, and I only caught it with my right hand. And when my momentum swung my body forward, like there was nothing on top of the branch, so my fingers were making a U, and I just fell and broke my arm. And my buddy knew it instantly. I didn't realize it. Like I hurt my lip worse than my arm, and so I was like, "Oh, my lip!" And my buddy goes, "Oh, your arm!" And it was just like, "You're right." And we waited there. His mom was a doctor, so we waited. But it was at my house, so we waited for her to come over. So we're waiting like a half hour for her to get there. Meanwhile, I'm just like, and they're like keep like rotating. They're like, "Do you need ice?" And they'd put ice on it, and then that'd feel good for a minute, and then I'd have to like take that off because that'd start to hurt.
Yeah.
And I remember the doctor like put a needle in the bone in my arm before they set it. Like he gave me some like painkiller or whatever. Like, but it like went in. He had to like lean on the needle, so he was getting on top. I just screamed like they had cut me open, and and then, but as soon as he pulled out the needle, I couldn't feel a thing. They were like wiggling my arm around. She had me by the elbow. He had me by the hand, and my mom's like, "Ugh."
What color cast did you get?
Green.
Green? Did you let everybody sign it?
Everybody signed
That's
it.
That's a big deal.
And by the end of it, my arm was so shrunk I could just take it off.
Yeah.
Like not even like having to worry about it. And when you get a cast, they're like, "Hey, don't like." They give you a pamphlet. Don't stick a pencil down there or a hanger. And you're like, "That's a great idea. I'm going to stick a pencil and a hanger down there."
Yeah, because that shit itches so much.
That was the worst pain.
Who's the person you call when you have a bad day?
If it's not my wife, then probably my mom. My mom, my buddy Neil, one of them. Pick up and I just start, and I never tell them it's a bad day. I just want to talk.
Just want to talk? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best party you've ever been to?
It's got to be. We used to have beer bong fest in college every year, and it was just an ungodly amount of beers. And I could never do it. Like, I would still do it, but I'd have to, like, gulp it down, so it'd take me, like, 10 seconds to drink a beer, where everybody else could just open up the hatch. But for whatever reason, everybody just really let loose that week.
Yeah.
That was always a good week.
What were you guys drinking?
Oh, what was in Keystone Light.
Key Light, yes.
Just like the 30-pack, so cheap.
My favorite. I miss it so much. I have this damn gluten allergy, so I have to drink White Claws. But,
really?
Man, I'm love
and you,
Key
but
Light.
you loved Keystone Light?
Love it. They still have it on tap in Cheyenne.
Really?
This bar that we go to has it on tap. They'll serve you a big ass, probably like 60-ounce glass.
Yeah.
For like, I think it's $2. So we just pound them and have it. So white trash, but man, I just like. I don't know why. I just always like Keystone Light, but no one else.
That's what you're comfortable with
in the world would agree with me. All right, let me do a couple more, and we'll get a beer before the show. Have you ever walked in on anyone having sex, or have your parents walk in on you?
No, my mom walked in when I was pretty young, and I just got done handling myself. And she like came in to like kiss me goodnight, and I'm all sweaty. And she's like, "Whoa, you got a fever?" And I'm like, "I'm okay. Just leave, please."
That's funny. What else do I got? When's the last time you asked for a refund for something?
You know what? It gets to the point where you just like you order so much stuff on Amazon and it comes and it doesn't work. It was like, well, this was $4. So
Yeah.
am I really going to go to the post office to return this? I don't do it with food. I accept it as part of the lottery.
Me too.
Some people are like, send it back. I'm like, nope. I made the decision. It doesn't taste good. Here I am.
Yeah, I agree.
And I also don't want to send it back. Like if it's undercooked or something, I'm not sending it back because I've seen movies where they spit on your food and do worse. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't know what else.
That's how. See, some people either know immediately or they'd never do it. I think it's just a personality.
I don't think
trait.
I ever go
I'm
to
with you.
return
I don't
anything.
know when I would. I was the same thing. They messed up one of my girlfriend's Christmas presents. Amazon did, and then I just got a refund just for the money, but
Okay.
and I still felt bad, even though they totally fucked up what I was trying to get her. Like I was trying to get her this perfume, and they sent me this black suede men's cologne. It was
Okay.
valued at like $7, and the perfume was like $100. So I
Right,
had
right.
to take a stand, and it wasn't what she wanted. But
Yeah.
I'm with you, like on food or. It's weird that I asked that question. If I ask it, I know immediately.
If
The
it's
person
coming.
is either like this fucking person yesterday, or they're like, eh. It's just like I need to put an asterisk by it where I can usually tell the person. How about this? If you could, is there one thing in your house you would save if it was like not your kids or like electronics? Is there one? Do you have something like that that's very special?
Like a sentimental?
Yeah, not like kids or pet or your computer.
Right. I would probably. I've got like a keepsake box that like has memories from like my wife and I's wedding and things growing up, things like that. I'd probably grab that.
Yeah.
I suppose if I had a free hand.
What about, do you save any of your comedy stuff? Is there anything special?
Yeah, I've got like a comedy scrapbook.
comedy-wise? Yeah.
You know, fun like mile markers or things that felt like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Something like that. I try and save brochures if I, like the first comedy festival I ever did. I saved
Which was
that.
where?
That was Boston.
The festivals. The funnest, most drunk debauchery.
Which one's your favorite?
Favorite one I did was probably Montana.
Okay, the
Big
Big
Sky.
Sky. Yeah, that was good.
Super fun, and they did a good job. I just like being around comics. So
We did that
festivals-
together.
Yeah.
We were there together.
And I thought that was like, everybody was cool.
yeah, everybody was
I
pretty.
remember getting back to LA, and I was like, man, I miss my everything. It was a really fun. So that one will always be special. We used to do that Cabo one, which was great.
Okay.
The shows were awful, but it was just a paid
I've heard of
vacation.
people doing that,
Yeah. I have no idea how. I think it was ran by like El Chapo, because everything was paid for: flights, hotel, food, drinks, everything. But then the shows, nobody was there. I mean, we do shows like for 12 people in a shitty ass bar.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know how anybody, if it was like tourism or we didn't ask questions. Of course, it's gone now. But honestly, there's something.
was
I
the
mean, these
Fire
shows were
Festival
awful,
people.
but there'd be 60 comedians and big comics. I mean, I remember the last one was like Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
It was before she really popped, but like,
still,
it was still
if
good.
you're paying for
big
flights
comics,
and stuff like
yeah.
that, yeah.
It was crazy. All right, let me give you two more questions. We'll get out of here. What's one thing you absolutely hate to do?
It's something that my wife always. She just knows now after making the bed.
Oh, really?
She just knows. I see it as a completely pointless thing, and if I make it, it's just to appease her.
Yeah.
But I hate it. I'm looking at it, I'm going, this is stupid. We are going to ruin everything I'm doing in a few hours.
That's so funny because that's my girlfriend's like only rule. I was with you. I never, before she met me, Like I had a bed on the floor, no frame, and just a big comfy comforter and like 2 or 3 pillows. And when we moved in together, she's like, I have one rule, like you have to make the bed. And then just today even, I was like...
Her rule is that you have to make the bed?
Well, that she just wants the bed made every day. It must be made,
so the last person out.
Yeah. But she goes to work early in the morning and I need to lay in bed. And she built me like a theater in my bedroom, so I can't complain about that. So I lay in bed and watch this big theater, so it's...
You never have to make it if I never get out of
bed. It's well worth
it.
But then like today, I was like... getting ready to come down here, and I was like, I got to make this bed, and then but it's worth it.
I'll make it once a month, I think, just because I'm like, let me do this for her. She's doing something, for the kids. Let me just do this, so when she comes back, she's happy. But the whole time, I am hating it.
What city do you hate? Is there a city you never want to go to again?
You know what? And it's a very popular one, and it's only comedy related that I hate it. Austin.
Oh, really?
I've done 2 shows there, and I've eaten it both times.
Really? And that's everybody's coolest city in the world.
Last time I was there was 2010, so I did a show in 2009 and 2010, and then I've never gone back. And in my head, it just sticks out as like the one place that I haven't made work, and I hate it for that reason.
That's so funny, and that's everybody's like favorite fucking...
Everybody's like, oh, Austin's
so the coolest place in the world.
Yeah, real good nightlife. I'm like, no sense of humor, this piece of shit.
That's awesome. All right, I got one last question, but before that, they can find everything nickhoff.com.
Yeah.
You'll be touring a bunch always.
Yep, I always put my tour dates up
there. Check out the YouTube.
Links.
Yeah, go subscribe to YouTube. You guys know what to do.
Add us on social media, you guys, because it really does. It helps. It moves the ticker.
As stupid as it is, it helps more than you guys know. So go find them, add them, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Support the YouTube, subscribe. You guys know how to do all that shit. And thank you so much for doing this. Last question before we get out of here. If you could script your last words before you die, what would they be?
Oh, yeah, the old tombstone tweet. It would be something positive. It would be something like, something cheesy and positive. Although I would try to make it not cheesy, but like, just get the most out of life. Have fun. Because that's all that it is. That's all it is. You have worries about how much money you have, but...
Brandt Tobler trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Jack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal? Shout out to Ron Huff and Dick. The kids loving this. I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect. Every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along. We have a little fun. A few questions. How about 31?